in this video, we're going to problem solve practice addition and subtraction. I don't like that title. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing word problems with addition and subtraction of mixed numbers. So let's go ahead and jump into the first word problem. Caitlin has 4 3/4 pounds of clay. Go, Caitlin. She uses 1 1/10 pounds to make a cup and another 2 pounds to make a jar. How many pounds are left? This is going to be one of those practice videos where you get to go work it out on your own first. So have fun. All right, let's work it out. I always, like to write out the equation before I start doing stuff. So let's write out the equation. She had 4 3/4 pounds of clay. She used, so minus 1 1/10 pound, and then another 2 pounds, so minus 2. How many pounds are left? Let's just go in order. PEMDAS. 4 3/4 minus 1 1/10. Let's do a T-chart because I don't think it's 40. So we've got 4 times 2 is 8, times 3 is 12, times 4 is 16, times 5 is 20. There we go, 10, 20. Least common multiple is going to be 20. So let's go ahead and write that out. 4, denominator 20, 4 times 5 got me 20, so 3 times 5 is 15. 4 15/20 minus 1 multiplied by 2, 1 2/20. That's good because we don't have to borrow anymore. So that's going to equal, let's subtract our fractions first. 15 minus 2 is 13/20. That says 12/20. And then 4 minus 1 is 3. So she had 4 15/20 and she used 1 2/20. We have 3 13/20 left, and we need to subtract 2. So for this one, if it was backwards, if it was like 3 minus 2 13/20, I would have to borrow. But because there's no fraction here, you don't have to borrow anything. You just know that 13/20 minus 0 is 13/20, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So she has 1 13/20 pounds left. I hope that's what you got. You also could have added and gotten 3 1/10 and said 4 3/4 minus 3 1/10. That would have worked as well, but your final answer should be the same at 1 13/20. Let's do another one. A pet store donated 50 pounds of food for adult dogs, puppies, and cats to an animal shelter. How nice of them. 50 pounds, not 15. 19 3/4 pounds was adult dog food, and 18 7/8 pounds was puppy food. How many pounds of cat food did the pet store donate? Make sure you write out your equation. Go ahead and solve it. For this one, there's 50 pounds. And I know I'm trying to figure out how much of the cat food. So I'm going to subtract everything else, and whatever's left will be the cat food. So minus 19 3/4 minus 18 7/8. So I see these numbers, and I see that my common denominator for all the numbers is going to be 8. So I'm going to go ahead and make all my numbers 8 when I'm doing this, just to make it easier later on. So first things first, let's say 50 minus 19 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and change that to 8. Let's go ahead and do that. I really think it's going to make it easier for us later on. I multiplied the 4 times 2 to get me to 8. Multiply the 3 times 2, I'm going to have 6. So we know we have to borrow from the 50 to get 49 8/8. Remember, I made it 8/8 because 8/8 equals 1, and 8 is our denominator. Minus 19 6/8. So I'm going to end up with 2 8s after I subtract. 49 minus 19 is going to get me 30. Yes, it is. 30 2 8s is what I've currently got. Mine's getting a little messy. Make sure yours was neater. So we did this part. Now we just have to subtract 18 7/8. Unfortunately, you can't say 2 minus 7. So we're going to have to borrow again. So I'm going to borrow, make this a 29. I'm going to move down here. 29. And since I borrowed, I subtracted the 1 from here. That 1 is going to equal 8 8s. And I'm going to add it to my 2 8s. So that's going to get me 10 8s. So I've got 29 10 8s minus 18 7/8. 10 minus 7 is 3, so I've got 3/8. 29 minus 18 is 11. So 11 3/8 is our correct answer. I'm going to go back and look and make sure. How many pounds of cat food? So there was 19 3/4 pounds of dog food and 18 7/8 pounds of puppy food. We subtracted that from the 50, got 11 3/8. You also could have added 19 3/4 plus 18 7/8 and said 50 minus that. That would have worked as well. Let's go ahead and look at another one. Thelma, what a name, spent 1/6 of her weekly allowance on dog toys, 1/4 on a dog collar, and 1/3 on dog food. What fraction of her weekly allowance is left? All right. So this is a lot of fractions. My tip for you would be to go ahead and make everything have a common denominator. Good luck. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and make a T chart, but with 3. So I've got 6, 4, and 3. I guess it looks like a hashtag. That would work. Anyway, we've got 6. 6 times 2 is 12. This is looking promising. 4, 8, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. My common denominator is going to be 12. That helps me a lot. So I know she spent 1/6, which is going to equal, let's write it out. 1/6 is going to equal something over 12. 6 times 2 is 12, so 1 times 2 is 2. Then she's got 1/4. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. And then she's got 1/3. And then we've got, so 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, so she spent 2/12 and 3/12 and 4/12. So let's add that up. That's going to get me 9/12. So this is what she spent on, I guess she has a new puppy. She spent 9/12 of her allowance. So now we want to figure out how much is left. So we're going to assume she had one whole allowance to begin with, and that would equal 12/12. It's weird to think of allowance not in money. And then she subtracted what she spent of 9/12. 12 minus 9 is 3/12. Let's go ahead and simplify that. We can divide that by 3 and we get 1/4. She had 1/4 of her allowance left. Sounds good? I hope that's what you got as well. Let's look at the next one. Martin is making a model of a Native American canoe. He has 5.5 feet of wood. He uses 2 3/4 feet for the hull and 1 1/4 feet for the paddle. How much wood does he have left? Write your equation, work it out. So for this one, he's got 5.5 feet of wood. He uses 2 3/4, and he uses 1 1/4. As you can see, our common denominator is going to be 4. So let's go ahead and start subtracting. 5.5, I want to make my common denominator 4 here, so let's make an equivalent fraction. 2 times 2, 1 times 2, 5 2/4 minus 2 3/4. We can't say 2 minus 3, so we have to borrow. And we're going to get 2. Whoop, that's a 4. We're going to get 4. And we want to take, when we take away here, we're taking away a 1, which is going to equal 4/4, which is what we're going to add to our 2. So we're going to get 4 6/4 minus 2 3/4. When we do that, we're going to end up with 3/4, 2 3/4. Then he used, let's bring it down, 1 1/4 of wood, feet of wood. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. We can simplify 2/4. We know it equals 1/2. So he has 1 1/2 feet left. I hope that's what you got. You could have worked it out a little bit differently. You could have said 2 3/4 plus 1 1/4 and then subtracted that from 5.5. That would have worked as well. Just to show you what I mean here, you could have said 5.5 minus 2 3/4 plus 1 1/4. This would work because he used both of these. So you could add them together and then say 5.5 minus that answer. That would work. Just depends on what you want to do. Let's go ahead and do another one. Uh-oh. Is this our last one? It is. Beth's summer vacation lasted 87 days. I don't see any fractions in this one. Let's work it out anyway. Beth's summer vacation lasted 87 days. At the beginning of her vacation, she spent some time at soccer camp, 5 days at her grandmother's house, and 13 days visiting Glacier National Park with her parents. Man, this is a cool summer. She then had 48 vacation days remaining. How many weeks did Beth spend at soccer camp? This is definitely a challenge problem. Good luck. All right. Let's figure it out in days first, and then we'll figure out weeks. So she had 87 days. Cool. She spent some time at soccer camp. We're trying to figure that out. She spent 5 days at grandma's. So then she had 82 left. She spent 13 days at Glacier National Park. 82 minus 13, 7, 6, 12, 11, 10, 9. She had 69 days left. She then spent 48 days remaining, so doing nothing. So 69 minus 48. 9 minus 8 is 1, 21. All right, so she had 21 days that she spent at soccer camp. Okay. 7 days in a week. So she spent 3 weeks at soccer camp. That makes sense. I hope that's what you got. That was definitely a challenge problem. It's not a fraction problem, so I'm not really sure why it's in this chapter, but it was definitely a challenge. So I hope you got it right. If you didn't, that's okay. But if you did, pat yourself on the back or give yourself a high five to the camera. I hope you got those all correct, and I'll see you next time.